We have to, I might as well say it now, we have to either enforce everybody or we have to do it different. We're doing it somewhat by complaint now, I think. When we hired Mr. McCarty, when we made that job, it's not, he had to do 1/4 of the city so often, code enforcement, that was his job. 1/4 of the city, I don't know if it was 2 weeks, you remember, Mr. Lang? He was supposed to drive around and check things out.
More of a proactive thoughts.
Yes, and that was his job. Now, he certainly don't work 160 hours a month on them few permits. Because before that, we built 180 houses with the same guy. He was our building official before we hired him, when we hired an outside concern, and built 160 or 70 houses, and he got it all done. Now, how many houses did we build this year? 20? 10? I don't know. 5? Because I know how, it don't take that long like a re-roof. I know I had my roof just redone. That's a few minutes.
Yeah.
When you have a good roofer. I'm sure he spends a lot of time on the poor roofers.
So, Mr. Trost,
I don't know we have to come up with a way of doing these code enforcements. I mean, it's not fair for me to come in here and complain about
Right.
people. I complain about Joe Snyder's property, but 5 blocks away, the other guy is the same way, and I'm not complaining about him.
well, I
We
don't
have to-
disagree.
We
I
have to
don't-
enforce the whole city.
Yeah.
We can't just pick and choose like I'm doing.
I agree.
But I'm bringing my thoughts to the city when I get complaints. Some people don't like to go to the city with their complaints, they go to their council people.
Right. Well, I would suggest that we look at that. I think that sometimes the complaint basis enforcement is not terribly efficient. It certainly doesn't get to the heart of the matter, and a lot of people are, again, not
So maybe we should have the,
complaining about their neighbors.
maybe not the council meeting, maybe we should have the code enforcement person come to our workshop and ask for ideas from him. Because, I mean, he'll do anything we want him to, I know he will.
Yeah.
That's the boss.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
That a lot of these kinds of things got dealt with because, on a need basis or a complaint basis, because we didn't have the staff to do it.
Right.
Now we've got the staff to do it, so there should be no excuse for us not canvassing the whole city to make sure that everybody's following the rules and regulations of the city. Whether it be weeds or lawns or junk or whatever it is.
Because I complained about a lot of sidewalks that weren't shoveled, and they still weren't shoveled. But now they're all done. So,
It's spring.
but a lot of sidewalks were never shoveled all winter,
Yep.
and even the ones I complained about. Some were.
Well, I think we'll take this idea under advisement, and I will ask that, we've got our workshop for next week is scheduled to discuss the street improvement projects for the most part. But if we wanted to bring Mr. Valella in, we can
Well,
certainly have him
I'll
come.
make a recommendation to the mayor to talk to the city administrator about this,
All right,
and
we'll get it scheduled.
I'd like to talk to you as well, Gary.
We'll have-
She's the one.
Let's form a
okay,
committee.
well, the city administrator can have her there.
Okay, and a committee. We'll make a committee. It'll be the mayor, Councilmember Trost, David Murphy, and Ms. Rosenfeld, and Mr. Valella. We might as well bring him in.
And Mr. McCarty.
And Mr. McCarty.
I guess we can get this, but I guess, Tricia, do you have?
So you're going to bring this to the workshop on the 27th?
We can do that, or we can run this committee thing. I would say, chief planning, yes.
I think I should also be on that committee because
Enforcement.
we started working on some ventilation
Right.
duties. And I think the police department needs to be.
Okay, and you're planning on being at the workshop next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll have most of the players at the workshop. If we bring Mr. Valella to the workshop next week, then we'll have everybody here, and we'll set up whatever we want to set up from, we'll use the workshop as long as, we don't have to schedule a special meeting, but then after that, we may end up coming up with some sort of committee structure around it. Are we okay with that?
No,
No?
no. I think this is a big mistake if you're going to take city employees and unleash them to turn them on the public looking for violations. You won't have to worry about one page of violation. You'll have to deal with dozens of pages. Okay, let's just take the weed ordinance alone. And a typical late July, I would say, in my block, at least 12 houses violate the weed ordinance because they probably at least have one weed by that alley back there. That's too long. That's one block. Let's go to the next block, more weeds. The next block, more weeds. Next block, more weeds.
Okay, Mr. Troy.
Wait a minute, hold it. We've only gotten one ordinance done.
But you're talking about one weed. You're saying that,
Well,
are you really using one weed as an example?
Well, wait a minute now. You're talking about unleashing the public employees on the public to, by golly, we want to enforce the law on everybody equally. It's, as it's done now, it's by, if I have a neighbor who has many square yards of weeds, I might complain. But if I'm going to get hit because I have a few with long weeds